changes in the society. Iringa, one of the best in the natural environment preservation in the world. Good evening, I am Faida Ngaga. You can also follow us live via our YouTube channel, TBC Online. Also get all the latest news through our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter pages at TBC Online. The President of Zanzibar and the Chairman of the Revolutionary Council, Dr. Hussein Ali Mwinyi, urges graduates of universities in the island of Zanzibar to use their education to solve the challenges facing the society. President Dr. Mwinyi was the guest of honor in the 20th graduation ceremony of the University of Zanzibar, where he insisted that the nation still needs scholars who are able to make good use of the education they have.
We need a new generation of educated people who have a high IQ and can come up with solutions for existing problems in all levels of the society. We need devoted and hardworking educated people who are creative and innovative, who do not wait to be persuaded. In the government, we have specified various qualities as a way to facilitate development. Our students have a duty to support the government development policies.
Minister for Education and Vocational Training in Zanzibar, Leila Mohamed Musa, calls on universities to start programs that are in line with the needs of the nation, including programs for the blue economy, while graduates promise to use the education they have acquired to start businesses that will help other graduates.
We still have a challenge of lack of specialists in the blue economy, although the government has invested in it. I take this opportunity to request these universities in Zanzibar to establish programs that align with the requirements of the blue economy policy and the marketable so as to support the efforts of the government in attaining this 2050 version.
Mafanikio makubwa ya dira ya 2050.
Okay, I would like to be an entrepreneur so as I can employ others and provide them the job opportunity so as to reduce the risk of unemployment youth within our country.
The 20th graduation of Zanzibar University marks a total of 12,125 graduates who graduated in various fields. Tanzania Port Authority (TPA) says that it aims at increasing the number of cargo shipments from 18 million to reach about 47 million tons of cargoes in the near future. The statement was made by Dar es Salaam Port Director Mrisho Suleiman Mrisho in the meeting that brought together journalists and port authorities. Speaking during the meeting, Mrisho cited this ambitious target as one of its kind, which may turn the Dar es Salaam port to be among one of the most competitive ports in Africa. Mrisho added that the TPA has made several improvements, including the construction of docks at the port of Dar es Salaam and the small ports it manages, as well as purchasing modern equipment as some of the initiatives to gain more customers and stakeholders from around the world for them to use the ports of Tanzania to pass their cargo. Statistics show that transit cargo passing through the port of Dar es Salaam towards landlocked countries has increased to 7 million. Moving on, the Iringa municipality has been named as one of the 15 cities in the world with a clean landscape that has preserved its natural environment. The municipal mayor, Ibrahim Gwada, says the municipality of Iringa has been officially recognized in the International Summit of Environment involving more than 250 cities and regions from 68 countries in a program named Cities with Nature. That was held on the 12th of December this year in Canada. Our reporter Irene Mwakalinga from Iringa has more details.
Iringa, the home of Chief Mkwawa of Hair tribe, who destroyed the German regime, is the only municipality that penetrated to the list of the best cities in the world representing Tanzania. The mayor of Iringa municipality, Ibrahim Gwada, explained the secret of victory.
Moja ni swala la muonekano wa mji wenyewe, kwamba mji wenyewe una muonekano mzuri, lakini mbili ni uhifadhi.
First is a matter of good appearance in Iringa. Second is the conservation of the environment. Iringa municipality has conservational areas, and third is cleanliness. We have been able to stand out as the second cleanest municipality in Tanzania. They also look at the traditional aspect. Iringa region still conserves and preserves its culture.
Ni mmoja kati ya mikoa ambayo bado inaenzi na kutunza utamaduni wake kwa kiwango kikubwa.
What are the benefits of being recognized for cleanliness and environmental protection in the world for ordinary citizens?
Kwa mji wetu kuonekana kuwa bora kwenye masuala ya uhifadhi wa mazingira.
We believe that various people who like to invest in the environment will come to our country. We will also attract investors for the tourism. We will also attract investors for the tourism sectors. But by also being mentioned among cleanest regions, we shall be able to attract tourists from various countries.
Safi na lenye uhifadhi zaidi wa mazingira, mataifa mbalimbali, watalii mbalimbali watapenda kufika kwenye eneo letu.
The councillors of Iringa municipality have welcomed the news and called upon other environmental stakeholders to support the efforts to make the city evergreen and clean.
We continue to emphasize the director on things that they can do to reduce costs so as to lessen the pain of the citizens.
The Iringa municipality spends more than 27 million shillings per month for fuel used in garbage collection vehicles. The International Environment Summit aimed at discussing and solidifying the local actions for the protection, restoration, and enhancement of biodiversity across the world. Irene Mwakalinga, TBC, Iringa.
Moving on from Iringa, Minister for Water and Irrigation, Juma Aweso, has instructed Dar es Salaam Water and Sewerage Authority, DAWASA, not to spend more than 7 days to connect any applicant to water services. He insists all applications for water services to be completed within 7 days. Here's a report prepared by Henry Mabumo, read by Apasia Ringo.
It is a special visit by the Minister for Water and Irrigation to inspect the Changanikeni to Bagamoyo water project, which is estimated to cost more than 70 billion Tanzanian shillings. He asks for more coordinated efforts by the authority to complete all water service applications made on time.
Miundombinu imekamilika.
The infrastructures are completed. The most important thing is for citizens to acquire water service. There should be well-detailed contact between the water authorities and the customer, which indicate that after 7 days for asking to be installed a water system, he or she should have access to water. And we have given them 500 million to ensure this request.
Kinondoni District Commissioner Godwin Gondwe has commended the proposed plan for people to be connected to the water service by loan, while the Bagamoyo District Administrative Secretary Kasil Damtani mentions that the plan has proved to be the permanent solution to the water supply problems in the area.
For the first in Kinondoni district, DAWASA has agreed to offer water services through loans. This will even middle-class citizens.
The DAWASA Director General Engineer Cyprian Luhemeja explains about the project and the places that will be benefited.
The challenge of water shortage has now been solved. We will also make sure that the water is treated and available to our people.
That was a report by Henry Mabumo, read by Paul Alphonse. Moving on, the presence of long queues at the National Identification Authority district offices has led the institution to innovate a system that will enable people to apply for their ID cards online. Speaking in Dar es Salaam during the launching of the new service, the NIDA head of communications, Geoffrey Tengeneza, says that this new service will help the government and the applicants to reduce costs and time.
Kutangaza kwamba mamlaka ya vitambulisho vya taifa tumeunda mfumo mpya wa usajili.
I am happy to announce that the National Identification Authority has established an online application system for obtaining identification cards. Through this system, a citizen will not need to do physical application at our offices. All that he or she will need is a device such as smartphones, laptops, tablets that will enable him or her to do online applications. After filling the form online, he or she will have to submit it and then go to our offices for final procedures.
Basi unaingia kwenye internet.
Mr. Tengeneza also reminded the citizens that the former system will still be used and that all online applications should be done via eonline.nida.go.tz. Moving on, Tanzanian government has been commended for its efforts in improving technology and expertise in cancer treatment in Tanzania. Nasa Kingu has more details.
As cancer continues to be a great threat to human lives around the world, with the WHO reporting millions of people dying of the disease every year, developing countries have been stepping up their efforts to curb and treat the disease. Dr. Athman Mseti, who is a cancer specialist and the director of medical services at Ocean Road Cancer Institute, says Tanzania has been exemplary in setting up a good human resource and infrastructure to treat the disease.
Different and very tremendous efforts have been made by the government in terms of investment in cancer services. If you look at our institute, a lot has been done in terms of human resource. I'll tell you something. If you compare the situation 10 years ago, but then the situation was so bad. We had only 5 cancer specialists who were serving about 40 to 50 million people. But then the government made the correct decisions in 2010 when we started a training program in cancer. So we started training our own cancer specialists within the country at Muhimbili University. So over about 5 years, from 2010 to 2015, we moved from having only 5 cancer specialists to around 20 cancer specialists. That was a very big step by the government. But then we sent some other doctors to train abroad. So we are speaking of over 30 cancer specialists within this country as we speak right now. So that is a great step in terms of human resource.
He insists public education on the disease to be the key.
So we are keeping a lot of effort through the Ministry of Health to educate. The public education is the key now for people to get to the facilities, getting the correct diagnosis, because probably some of them are dying undiagnosed. They'll die probably at the Prophet's Church or at Kalumanzila's place undiagnosed, but truly they are dying from cancer.
Some of the Tanzanians have praised the services they receive from the Institute.
We have been welcomed very well. We have also received very good services. Even other patients that I met here are being treated well. Doctors and nurses are very good at their job. We were to come here in 2020, but some of our relatives and friends told us that when we come here, we won't get the proper treatment, and it will be very hard to get healed. It also made our patient to lose hope. But later on, I was able to convince him to come here and get treated. So he came, and now he's among one of the patients who is always pushing others to go for treatment and get better.
I really thank God that after getting treatment, I am now feeling better. The doctors here are so good and they have good hospitality. There's really no problem that I have encountered here that can make you scared or have doubts about the services here. I advise my fellow Tanzanians to get treatment, especially when you are at the early stages of cancer.
I'm very grateful. The improvements, the constructions that are taking place here are very good. We are really grateful for the services. We are getting treated on time.
Ocean Road Cancer Institute, through the government, vows to continue to improve cancer awareness programs and treatments by increasing the technology used in treatment and number of specialists. For example, from this year, PET-CT scan is expected to be introduced and early next year to be ready for public use. Nasa Kingu, TBC News.
In other news, stakeholders of peace and security in Tanzania say the national policy for women protection will help to stir changes in the social and economic sectors of the nation. Here's a report prepared by Tufuatilie and read by Terry Padanyanga.
It is the launching of a meeting to discuss the establishment of women peace and security policy in the country. For many years, Tanzania has been an active participant in ensuring peace and security globally, but it does not have an international policy that supports peace and security for women. Stakeholders from various sectors have met to discuss a strategic plan to implement the United Nations Security Resolutions number 1325 concerning women's peace and security.
Of Tanzania and UN Women as our technical team and advisors on developing the Tanzania National Action Plan on Women, Peace and Security in line with the UN Security Council Resolution 1325, which has 4 pillars of protection for women and children in conflict.
The establishment of the policy will also help to reduce the number of cases concerning abuse and violence against women. In her opinion, the United Nations representative for UN Women, Hoda Ado, says that the national policy will help to eliminate obstacles in implementing the agenda for women, peace and security.
The delegates affirmed their concern about the negative impact of the conflict on Burundi women and children and recognized women's potential to contribute to the healing, reconstruction, and development of Burundi society.
On the other hand, stakeholders who attended the meetings say that the policy will help to increase awareness on the impacts of conflicts against women and girls and the position of women in ensuring peace and security.
Women and children do suffer more in terms of sexual and other forms of violence when there is war and conflict. But in our case, in Tanzania, we are developing the National Action Plan because we do live with a refugee community in Tanzania, a refugee population. But we also send peacekeepers across the globe, and we also deploy women peacekeepers.
Tanzania is among the countries in the world who are forefront in ensuring peace and security. It has been mentioned to be the 12th country globally and the 6th in Africa, and has been congratulated for being a very active participant when it comes to issues concerning peace and security. Teddy Mpanyanga, TBC.
Thank you, Teddy Mpanyanga, for that report, and sorry for butchering your name. Climate change has affected the ecology of Saadani National Park, especially the Wami River, which is a reliable source of water for living creatures, including hippos. Government efforts to revamp the mangrove forest have been fruitful due to the visible impact that the mangrove forest has had to the ecology of Saadani. Saadani National Park is the only park in East Africa that connects the sea with an area of kilometers of 1,062 square meters. Climate change has affected the ecology of Saadani National Park, especially the Wami River, which is a reliable source of water for living creatures, including hippos. Wami River has started to be affected.
When the river was drying due to human activities around the river, the result was that the animals migrated to seek for the fresh water. The water here is too salt.
It has been 12 years ever since Saadani has been gazetted as a national park.
From
2005, these mangrove forests have returned to their original state. Therefore, these are the initiatives that the government has done to ensure conservation of these forests.
Various tourists are interested in tourism by using boats to see various marine creatures, as well as the confluence of the Indian Ocean and the river. And that news item about climate change concludes local news tonight. International news up next. Here is Nyambona Masamba with international news.
Hello and welcome to international news. German Foreign Minister has handed over more than 20 stolen cultural artifacts known as Benini Bonzi to Nigeria. The items were collections, scriptures and cracks being looted from former Kingdom of Benini in 1897. The act is part of an agreement the country signed earlier this year to Europe. Thousands of ambulance staffs are on strike in the UK on Wednesday, a day after similar industrial inaction by nurses, after 100,000 nurses were out of job for the second day this month, calling for better pay and working conditions. From Europe to Asia, at least 5 children have died in monsoon flooding in eastern Malaysia. More than 65,000 people have been displaced due to flooding triggered by monsoon rains. The worst affected areas are Terengganu and Kelatan. Afghanistan Taliban rulers have banned all female students from attending universities. A latest crackdown of women's rights took effect immediately. Girls were already being banned from middle schools and high schools. Many countries say some several changes in policy on women's education is needed before to formalize and recognize the Taliban government. Rights activists say the move shows the Taliban indifference to international criticism. To Latin America, Peru's Congress has approved the election for the April 2024. It has been a key demand among the protesters following the arrest of the former President Pedro Castillo. The Congress has been resisting calls of forming the election, but President Dina Boluarte urged lawmakers to reconsider. The Congress has been resisting calls of forming the election, but President Dina Boluarte urged lawmakers to reconsider. Civil unrest in Peru started after former Castillo was impeached and jailed on December 7th. The rule has seen days of violence since Castillo impeachment and arrest 2 weeks ago. Protesters are demanding elections and release of former President Castillo. President Boluarte said she will not resign despite of protests across Peru. At last to the Middle East. The deadline is looming for the formation of new Israel government. Incoming Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu hasn't in midnight local time to finalize his coalition. Coalition partners include Itamar Ben-Gvir, who was convicted of supporting a terrorist group, leaders of the religious Zionist party, Bezalel Smotrich, supporting expanding illegal settlements in West Bank. And the Israel government is refusing to return the remains of a Palestinian man prisoner body to his family. Masa Abdulhamid died of cancer when serving multiple life sentences. Defense Minister Benny Gantz said Abdulhamid's body will be used as bargaining chip.
That was international news. Sports news is up next. And here is sports news by Malio Cheto.
Artists and business women throughout the country have been urged to produce high-quality products which can penetrate into international market. Speaking during the 3-month training graduation ceremony held in Bagamoyo, artists told the TBC reporter that skills that have been acquired will be used to produce quality products for international market.
I was operating my farm as a local farmer that you know there in your village. But because of Awe, now I have formalized my farming activities as I have registered it into BRELA, and it is now legally known as a Bagamoyo Farm Fresh.
Since I came to Awe, I have learned on how I can refine my idea. I have learned how I can source the necessary funds, the materials, all the materials that I will need to start my business idea, the legal aspect of the business, as well as how can I market the produce that I obtain from the business.
United States Ambassador for Tanzania, Donald Wright, says the skills and the knowledge imparted to artists and business women will help Tanzania to grow economically.
The U.S. Embassy is committed to support women entrepreneurs in Tanzania. We are now working and expanding the program to include English language training as part of the training. Next year, we'll train 120 women in Kigoma, Pemba, Kagera, and Mara regions.
50 women from Dar es Salaam and Bagamoyo have been trained for 3 months, empowering them on how to do business local and internationally. Malio Cheto, TBC News.
And that marks the end of our news bulletin for tonight. I'm Faith Ngaga. Have a lovely night.